Congratulations, you've discovered the Lost Level.
Hello, and welcome to another Lost Level episode 89. With me is Alex.
Hello.
And unfortunately, Adam is not here this week. Hopefully he'll return shortly. But this episode we have the movie review of The Equalizer.
Correct, with Denzel.
With Denzel Washington, as well as news, as always, in games and movies.
Yes.
So why don't we start off with our review of The Equalizer. Now, I'm going to try to keep this spoiler-free. I kind of talked about this a little bit offhand, or off the cast, and talked about the fact that it's kind of hard to talk about this movie without going into details, just because the way that I looked at things and the stuff that stuck out to me are story-driven related stuff that I had with it. So it's kind of hard to do it, but I'm going to do my best to keep this spoiler-free, so I apologize if I give away little tiny bits of pieces here.
You'll try to be vague as you can.
I'm not going to be like Denzel Washington did this in the movie or anything like that. I'm going to try to keep it pretty vague and do and keep it spoiler free as possible. So let's start off with that. We had the opportunity to watch it this week. Initial thoughts. Well, actually, brief synopsis. Basically, it's Denzel Washington is a man who is kind of put his past behind him, living this quiet life.
Yes.
He has his thing that he likes. He doesn't sleep at all. He always goes to like this diner at 3 a.m. to read his books.
Yes.
And he is a badass in his other life.
Yeah.
But now he's just kind of working at like a Home Depot, Lowe's type of store.
Right.
And you could see all this in the trailer. And that's pretty much the premise of this movie. Unfortunately, something happens where causes him to come out of his hiding or comes out of
his calm demeanor and he relapses into the badassery.
Right. And he becomes the man that he is, essentially.
Yeah.
So, initial thoughts, Alex. What do you think?
Initial thoughts was, okay, this movie is stylishly done. I like the way everything's going. I'm digging this movie. It's pretty cool. Then it slowly just goes to, wait, what's happening in this movie now? Why is he doing this? Why is this happening? The tone of this movie is completely changing. What about these story elements, and why are we just setting them aside? Okay, I'm done with this movie.
And that was your movie-going experience as you watched this movie?
Yeah, that was my general decline.
Okay. I had a very similar thought when I was watching the movie, too, because when it first started, I was totally into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the movie I wanted. I'm captivated by this character.
It was well shot, and the character was well established and developed.
I'm just going to say it now. For my age, Denzel Washington is probably one of the most captivating screen presences that I have in my generation. He's just a badass dude, man. Like, anytime he's on screen, the roles that he plays, I'm always captivated by him in the majority of the films that he does. And I can't say that about many other actors of my time.
I mean, granted, I do feel like he doesn't diverge too much of his roles. I mean, a lot of his roles are pretty standard these days, if you think about it. But he does it well.
He still gives his performances.
Yes,
it's still Denzel. It's not like you see older actors now, like Harrison Ford
or Bruce Willis,
just kind of just like phoning it in. Yeah. Like, I already did all this. And no, Denzel still brings it, man.
Yes.
I am totally into him. So the fact that I started watching this movie and thinking, yes, you're establishing his character very well. You're establishing the tone of this movie. It's very well shot. And then all of a sudden,
that tone just switches.
It switches, yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know when I started losing. I don't know the exact moment.
I know the exact moment for me
where I said, okay, I'm done with this. But where was the exact moment for you?
Tanker.
Okay. Slow motion scene a la Planet of the Apes, or the latest Planet of the Apes movie where we saw over the summer.
Okay.
Where you have the slow motion explosions everywhere behind the main
Yes.
character, and either like slow motion walking away or like shooting in the air. In this case, he's just doing.
Yes, it went from a very toned down, mellow action flick to this explosive action flick. At that point, I felt
It lost its like integrity along the way.
and then it continued to lose it during the final showdown.
Yes, I completely agree with that as well. Okay, so not getting overly into it for me, this movie. Let me start off with this. When I watch movies, I can forgive a lot.
Yeah,
I'm the type of viewer or the audience that doesn't necessarily nitpick anything, doesn't look at the science behind it.
I know. You would never nitpick about Spider-Man using Bing.
Right, okay. There are certain things that bother me, okay? But for the most part, I can watch Gravity and then like, well, that's not scientifically possible. Or I can just watch a movie and not necessarily think about like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's kind of stupid. So 99% of the time, that's how I look at films. But there's rare occasions in movies that something bothers me. And in Equalizer, there were a couple moments that just took me out of the movie where it became from like, oh, this is really good. I'm really into this character piece to, oh, how the hell is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
That just makes no sense to me. We talked about it offline. Can I say it?
I don't think it's a huge spoiler because we know who he's up against, so it's
Okay, so he's against mobsters. He's against the mob, so to speak.
yeah.
And as we mentioned earlier, Denzel Washington's character is in hiding. And we find out why he's in hiding throughout the movie, which I won't spoil. However, he's in hiding, and they can't find him. They think that he's gone.
Right.
And all of a sudden, something happens where Denzel Washington's character does some action,
Yes.
takes down a whole bunch of people in a room, which we saw in the trailer.
Yes.
And then the mob sends in some professional guy to find him and eliminate the threat, so business can resume as normal.
Yes.
And with him, he's able to locate Denzel by just a photograph off of a security camera where Denzel's wearing a hat,
Yes.
which you don't get a clean picture of his face even. And mobsters obviously don't necessarily have face recognition technologies or anything like that.
No.
However, the people who have been looking for him for years can't find him, but the mob can find him off of these security camera surveillance
Yes.
pictures of a African-American gentleman in a hat. Boom, that has to be Denzel Washington. And they get a name off of it. They get like all this stuff.
Yes.
They conveniently find it like, oh, look, we accidentally found a script sitting next to the computer here as we're doing our search. What's the script say? Oh, he lives here. So then they go to him. And that's how it kind of felt.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like, oh, well, that just makes no damn sense.
Right.
That really pulled me out of the screen. And then that's when I guess that is the moment.
That's the moment for you?
I guess that was the moment.
That's kind of early on. That's before my moment.
That was my moment where it's like, oh no, that happened. And then everything else happens in the movie. And what else can we talk about? What do you think about the other characters, the supporting characters?
The professional that goes after him, I really liked his performance. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, he was intimidating. He was a badass.
Mm-hmm.
He set the tone, and he really made you feel like he was formidable.
Yeah, and he had range also. Like that first encounter they had, he delivered it very convincingly.
Oh, the first conversation between
Yes.
his character and Denzel's character?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And he was up to the task of sharing screen time against Denzel.
Yeah.
Denzel's character, I guess we have to say, is Robert McCall. And
Just keep calling him Denzel.
Okay, so for easier sakes, we'll just call him Denzel. But yeah, he was up to that task. He was dead evenly matched, I would say.
Right.
It wasn't Denzel giving a performance and some lower level actor kind of just working through it. No, good, intense
Mm-hmm.
dialogue. You got the point home. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I really agree with that. Chloe Grace Moretz plays the Russian prostitute
Correct.
in this movie. What do you think of her?
She did an okay job. I mean, they kind of abandoned her character early on.
That was one of the other.
Yeah.
They established her character. They took the first, I would say, 20, 25 minutes of this movie establishing Denzel and her characters and their relationship. And then halfway through the film, she kind of, I would even say before halfway through the film, she disappears.
This is a long movie as well.
Yeah, this is another problem with this movie. The Equalizer is at least 30, 35 minutes too long.
Correct.
It would be a tighter film. It'd be a lot better if it was 2 hours. But instead, it's almost like 2.5 hours runtime. It's a long time for an action movie.
I was waiting for the end, honestly.
Yeah. You got to the third act, and it turns into this, from an interesting character piece to just action porn.
Ham-fisted action movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here's some cool death scenes, and you know what? That's what people want, man. When you're seeing,
I guess,
when you're reading a lot of their reviews and you're looking at like people and hearing them talk about this film, that's what I hear. I hear like, oh man, the action's awesome.
Ooh. I liked Home Alone when I was a kid, but I don't want to see Denzel as Kevin McAllister, right? That's his name?
Robert McCall.
Well, no.
From Home Alone.
Yeah.
Kevin. Yeah, it's Kevin. I don't remember
Kevin
his last
something.
name. It might be McAllister. I don't remember. But yeah, it sets up into one location in the third act, and he has to take down a few bad guys.
Yeah.
And the script becomes kind of generic in that regard, where you've seen the stuff that they laid down in the previous acts that have to be executed, and they are executed in a very paint by numbers type of way regarding the security guard and regarding
Correct.
other characters and stuff. It's like, well, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of just waiting for that moment. And then Denzel's character is kind of just out of character in one of those parts too. I don't want to get into it, but the script just doesn't feel very good in the third act. And then, like I said,
someone else wrote it.
It turns into action porn.
Yeah.
It's like, how cool can we make death scenes? And that's where it went to. Like, okay, we have this location and this toolbox to play with. What can we kind of do in this sandbox? And that's what they did. So they were trying to find creative ways to off people. Mm-hmm. And it just turned into whatever. Like a similar scene, I would say, would be in one of the Final Destination movies, where they had the same location for one of their acts or one of their deaths, and they did it a lot better. It was a lot cooler.
I haven't seen any of them past the first one, so
yeah. So it was just a big overall for me personally. It was a disappointment.
Yeah, it was. It started out strong and it just slowly started to founder.
Yeah, it started out real strong. Like, I'm like, yes, this is everything I want in an action movie. This is Denzel, Man of Fire.
Anton Fuqua did Man of Fire as well, right?
Yeah, like, this is Man of Fire. This is what I want because I love that movie. And instead we got generic action movie.
Yes.
That was too long.
Yes.
All right. We talked about it. Final thoughts?
I don't want to say skip it because it is enjoyable for parts. I would say if it's on cable, catch it. You're not going to hate yourself, but I wouldn't drop a lot of money. Maybe if it was on Redbox, you could drop $1 or $2 on it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say rent it. I'm going to also go with rent it because if you're into action scenes and cool death scenes, I think this is a good movie for you. Mm-hmm. It's maybe fast forwarding to get to those scenes might be worthwhile. If you don't like the slow first act or the slower first act to get to those action scenes, but if you do like that stuff, this movie does have it. It does deliver in that regard. So I would, for that sole reason, give it a rent.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I want to move on to movie news.
Movie news or game news?
Game news. Let's do game news first.
Yeah,
we always do game news first. Game news. Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Now, there's been stories about this. Like I think we talked about it last week, where they said Kevin Smith is going to be in this movie.
In this game?
In this game, sorry. I'm in movie head. Like, my brain is just on movies.
I don't feel like we even did much game news last week, but whatever.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think we skipped game news. There was no game news last week.
God, I am so out of it this week. I apologize.
But no, I remember talking about the Kevin Smith thing, but I think that was off cast.
Okay. So, previously announced in the new Lego Batman 3, Kevin Smith is going to be a character in it. And now more news on different characters this week is Conan O'Brien.
Okay. Cool.
The nighttime talk show host is going to have a character inside of it. Probably because of his popularity of Clueless Gamer.
Yeah, God, I love Clueless Gamer.
So he's going to be in it. I don't know exactly what he's going to be doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing himself, honestly, or like some.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I mean, it's him. It's Conan O'Brien inside of this movie, and so maybe he's doing like a Clueless Gamer bit. Maybe trying to give you guys a tutorial.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. I stopped playing Lego games. I like the idea. I loved the crap out of them when I played them previously, but I can't play them anymore. I'm done.
The only one I own is the Lego Marvel one, and I enjoyed that for a good 6-7 hours. But after that, I'll go back to it every now and then because it's a very chill game to play.
Yeah. And
if I just want to play a game and not stress myself over it, yeah, I'll definitely play one of those. But it has its appeal, but yeah, it's hard to get into at this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, there's huge appeal to them, and I really wish that I didn't get sick of them before Lego Marvel, because I own Lego Marvel, and I can't bring myself to play it.
You ever play it at all?
I played a little bit. I played the first couple levels of it, and it's like, yeah, it's a typical Lego game. And the reason I don't like them is just because of the fact that when you're going through these levels, some of the times you're not able to access certain areas because you need to have a different character. But in order to have that different character, you need to play through the level or beat the game, and then you're able to unlock these other characters that you could change to. Then
you have to replay through those levels, and it's very rehashed, and it's forcing replay value.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, it's cool to play again. It's forcing you to play it again in order to collect stuff. And as everybody kind of knows on this cast by now, Alex and I are huge collectors when it comes to games. And
you're liking all the little pieces.
Yeah, and if I'm playing a game, I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to get some of these. And I don't mind like going back to certain areas in games now that I have like a power or something like that, if it's not really over the head. But with Lego games, it's just too much, man. It's like, you got to play this level over again.
Yeah.
When you can unlock this, oh, wait, I have to play as this character. Like, what if I just like playing as one character? What if my favorite character is Wolverine? I just want to play as Wolverine.
Well, Adam, settle down.
Well, no, I'm giving that an example. You know what I mean? Like, if there's one character that I want to play as, I just want to do that. But now I got to play as, we'll use Star Wars. Now I have to play as Jar Jar Binks to get to a stupid level. Or to this certain area. Or I have to play as like a droid or something.
It's not even get to a certain area in most of the situations in the Marvel game. It's just collecting a piece.
Right. And it's so annoying. And I don't like that in game, like the gaming. I don't like that formula. Lego does it to death. I love the humor in them. I love the games. Like in terms of like the presentation, I just don't like the game. The play of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it. So I can't get into it anymore. I played the crap out of it like when Star Wars first came out, because that was the first Lego game. And can't do it anymore.
I played the Indiana Jones one a little bit. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I mean, they're fun, but I can't do the replayable.
Oh, I know.
Can't do it. So I'm kind of interested to see how they incorporated Conan O'Brien on this one. Lego Batman 2 was pretty intelligently done. They didn't like just rehash the first game or anything like that. They added new features and did some cool things with it to make it a different experience and not just rehash something to make money off of.
So hopefully you do the same with this one.
Yeah. So I'm
not that
curious.
I might play it or anything.
I'm curious to see what they do with it. All right. White Xbox One Master Chief Collection bundle going to Brazil, but no plans for a U.S. release.
Really? That sounds like it'd be a great market for the U.S.
Yeah, the reason I included this story this week was just because of the fact that I'm kind of annoyed with how the companies release these cool colors and different things in different regions, and the U.S. never gets them. I'm just sad by that. Like, I'm frustrated by it. Like, I'm to the point now. It's like, come on, man. Like, America is one of your top markets, and it always has been. Give us some of these things. Give us the cool colors for your consoles. Give us those special editions that you see in Japan only or in the UK only that we can't get because they're region based. I want those, man. Like, put them on globally. I'm sure some white Master Chief bundles would sell pretty well in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely they would.
Halo's kind of big here.
Yeah, Halo's huge here, but I don't know. Maybe they're doing this for the other regions because they're not doing well in the other regions. They'll know an Xbox One will sell regardless in America, but if it's not selling well in Brazil, it's not selling well in Japan. Maybe they'll give it some pizzazz. They're like, oh, this is cool. I like that it's white instead of black. Let me get it.
But do you think people are looking at it like, oh, this is a cool limited edition thing, so now I'm going to buy it as opposed to, or I wouldn't have bought it if it was black?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't understand it either. But like I said, the reason I included this news story is because I want change to happen. I want these cool colors coming to the U.S. I'm tired of seeing them in like UK only or Australia, or now in Brazil they get the white Xbox One. Like I want the white Xbox One.
I know you do.
I'll take that.
A lot of people want that one.
I just bought the stupid PS4 white controller because I like the white. I think it looks pretty cool.
It does have a good look to it.
It does. I completely agree. That's why I bought it. Like I want different. I want variety. I want something like that. When there's stupid collector's edition consoles, I'm a sucker for that. If it looks kind of cool, I'm more than likely probably buying it. Give us that opportunity in the U.S. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, it definitely won't hurt them.
Yeah. So if you live in Brazil, you're lucky. You get the opportunity to buy the Xbox Master Chief Collection bundle, which is a white Xbox One. Moving on, and speaking about Xbox One, if you guys like 1080p, you're not going to be able to play Dragon Age in 1080p on the Xbox One.
What?
You're only going to be able to play at 900.
I'm missing 180p's.
You're missing it. And it's going to be able to be 180p on the PS4.
Oh.
But not on the Xbox One.
Okay. That really doesn't faze me. I won't be able to tell the difference, I don't think, between 900 and 180. And I prefer playing on the Xbox One, so I will more than likely pick it up for the Xbox One.
I don't know, man. I grew up in the age of like 240 VHS tapes and all that stuff. Like I can notice the difference in 180p's.
Can you?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I really can't.
Okay.
I want to say that I can, but there's really not too much difference. But there's people out there who are anal retentive about it, like, oh, it doesn't run in 1080p. What the hell? We're in the digital age. Screw this.
Yeah.
And they're going to go out and buy it for PS4.
Oh, well.
But yeah.
That's their prerogative. It doesn't affect me any.
Right. And there was a story earlier this week where Assassin's Creed Unity, the developers for that, kind of made comments about it, saying like, you really can't tell too much of a difference between the 900p and the 180p and the 30 frame rates per second and the 60 frame rates.
Because you really can't. So,
like, people need to relax a little bit.
Yes.
And games aren't good because they're graphically superior. I mean, we've had that discussion forever.
Oh, of course.
And that's always been one of those topics where just because a game is graphically pleasing doesn't mean that it's a better game.
No.
I mean, look how much fun we're having with Titanfall Ascension, which is like an 8-bit multiplayer game. Towerfall, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Towerfall Ascension. Like just little tiny quick game.
Yeah.
I love the hell out of that game.
Exactly.
It doesn't need to be 60 frames per second.
No, it does. I mean, look at Destiny. Gorgeous game. Very good looking game. Kind of boring.
Except their character models.
Oh, yeah, the character models. But I mean, like the lighting effects and all that jazz is very nice, but kind of a boring game.
Yep. All right. So my rant of the week topic.
Oh, yes.
I feel like this is going to be a new segment for us because there's always one story that just annoys the shit out of me that I see.
And it's usually from about the same people, but...
yes, it's Nintendo regarding peripherals.
Yeah.
And so, Nintendo did this really cool thing for the upcoming game for on the Wii U, Smash Brothers.
Right.
They said, hey, guess what, guys? You can get this adapter and you can use your GameCube controller. How cool is that, right?
That is really cool because that was a great controller.
That is a great controller for Smash Brothers. And you can get the adapter, which if you bought the Smash Brothers bundle, you can get the adapter, a GameCube controller, and Smash for $100.
That's a good deal.
Pretty good deal. Here's the problem that I have.
What is it?
The adapter is only good for Smash Brothers. You can't use it for any other games. There's nothing on the schedule for you to use that on any games upcoming. It's just Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I wish this was like a video cast because I would have like prepped this. I would have been like Carrot Top with a box and just pulling out random shit.
Right.
I have so many freaking controllers from Nintendo.
I know you do.
Because of the fact that we do game nights here very often, and in order for us to do, I feel like if we have successful game nights, I have to have 4 remotes, I have to have 4 nunchucks, I have to have pro controllers, I have to have just all these freaking controllers.
Yes.
Because Nintendo doesn't want to play nice and have these controllers work on different things.
Nope.
So right now, Alex and I have been playing the crap out of Mario Kart 8.
We're going to get all 3 stars on all the courses. We will do that.
We're close. We're on the 150cc circuit right now.
We have like 3 more to do?
We have 3 more races to do. We're real close. And then we'll have all the stars and all the golds, and we'll be happy. Regardless of that, we're playing. We don't like it playing with the tablet, so we're using the Wiimote with a plugged-in controller.
Yeah.
The controller from the Wii, not the Wii U Pro controller, because that one's wireless. So we're still using the old school Wiimote one, which thankfully it lets us play with.
Yeah.
I also picked up Hyrule Warriors, and I went to play that game with the same setup. The Wiimote with the controller plugged into it. Can't play it that way.
You can't? Seriously?
You can't play it that way.
Oh, that's right. I remember you being pissed about that.
You need to have the wireless Wii U controller if I wanted to play it with the controller. Otherwise, I have to use tablet or I have to use the nunchuck. So that means Nintendo wants me to spend another $50 on a freaking controller. I'm so tired of them doing this. I have so many freaking Nintendo controllers around the damn house, and there's no reason for it, man.
I know. Oh,
there's no reason for it.
No, there's not.
Maybe if it's just one controller, but now I have to Wiimote and a nunchuck. I have to buy like these 2 different things, and combined total $60, $70 for that?
Let's think back to the original Wii when they decided to do the Wiimote Plus. And you could buy that extra peripheral for the original Wiimotes that did the 1-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
There's that as well. And you have to buy those for all of the Wiimotes you have if you want to have a party night with Wii Sports Resorts playing archery and golf and more bowling and jousting or what was it jousting, but sword fighting or whatever.
Right. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's mind-numbingly frustrating. Like, I can't do it anymore, Nintendo. Why are you doing this? Stop doing that. Stop putting out extra accessories that only are used for one thing.
Just be thankful the Wii Vita never came out for you.
Oh, I wouldn't. The sensor?
Yeah.
I would have never. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
have
you would have. You would have loved it.
What? I don't do any of the fitness stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Like that, so I don't.
You
really don't.
You will still have gotten it.
But I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of them putting out all this stuff. Like, I was stoked. If you would have asked me last week if I was buying the adapter so I can play with my GameCube controller, I would have said, "Fuck yeah, I am." Shit's already pre-ordered on Amazon, and you would have said, "Duh, I knew that already."
Right.
And now it's like this week, it's like, wait, this is only for Smash Brothers? You guys got to stop doing this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop it. Like it's freaking annoying.
It's not like there's a huge difference in the buttons at all. I think they have the same amount of buttons.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. All right, we're moving on to movie news before I just start ranting about it for an hour. Movie news. Avengers 3 boasts maybe a possible all-new lineup, meaning that the Avengers that you know today possibly might not be in the Avengers 3.
That's what they're making it sound like, or at least not be an integral part of it.
Yeah, and I don't know. See, I could see them doing that because they're introducing a whole new lineup in their Phase 3.
Yes.
I would say you're getting Ant-Man, you're getting Doctor Strange, you have Guardians now established, you have a whole bunch of characters that you can choose from, Scarlet Witch and also Quicksilver joining Avengers 2. So you have a plentiful amount of different people. So they're talking about possibly not having maybe some of the Avengers that you know today in Avengers 3.
Correct.
But my gripe with that is you're fighting Thanos. Wouldn't you want Captain America and Thor there?
You would, yeah.
I mean, this is Thanos. You know, you're not fighting some B-list villain.
No.
So I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe if they got. Maybe it wasn't like Hawkeye or maybe something, or maybe not.
Well, I think I heard
Scarlett
that
Johansson, Black Widow.
Yeah.
Maybe if they weren't in it, like, okay, well that makes sense because they're fighting fucking Thanos.
Right.
They're human. But yeah, I don't know, man. What'd you read?
Well, I think what's his name? Hawkeye. I think
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I think he's not too keen on continuing the role of Hawkeye.
Really?
I think I remember reading that somewhere. I could just be imagining that.
See, I read something.
It was a few weeks ago, I think.
I think I read something different.
Oh.
I think I did. I think I remember reading like he's up for it because they were talking about him being in Captain America 3.
Oh, okay.
And him totally being up for it. So I think he's down for it. But it's just I don't know how I feel about it. Just because of the climax that they're creating with it. Like everything's leading up to Avengers 3, and we all know that. We're all talking about it nonstop.
I know, because we had the article the other week we were talking about possibly being 2 parts.
Right.
And
which now it might not be.
Yes, according to the same article about a shift in the characters, saying it may not be 2 parts either. So.
Right. So like something's going to go down, apparently in Phase 3.
Oh, I could totally see that happening. Just look at what happened in Phase 2 with Captain America. With Captain America alone, that was a huge shaking up of the Marvel Universe.
Oh yeah, I mean there's been repercussions ever since. If you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist. Hydra is around, so it's interesting, and I'm kind of curious now. It's leading me to like speculating all these crazy things regarding Phase 3 and what's going to happen and who's going to be included, because like Downey is kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
One of the other stories they had this week. Last week we talked about him saying, "Yeah, I'll do Iron Man 4
if Mel Gibson directs it."
If Mel Gibson directs it, now he's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Downey's very wishy-washy on that.
And I think he's doing it because Marvel told him the plan. He has the idea of what they're going to be doing already, and they don't want him saying certain things.
That could be.
So he's like, maybe I'll do it. Maybe
he could be just doing it to get a rise out of people.
Yeah, he's probably just having fun with it. Because, Marvel probably went to him by now and said, hey, all right, you're signed on for Avengers 2, you're signed on for Avengers 3, let's do another Iron Man movie. This is how this fits into our Phase 3. These other people, this is going to be your story arc. You cool with that? Cool, you're cool. All right, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Play coy, have fun with the media because you like doing that, and just enjoy yourself with it. So I think that's what he's kind of doing.
Oh, of course he is.
So we'll see. Another rumor regarding Marvel Universe is Spidey.
Oh, yeah.
They've been talking about it. They've been talking about crossovers. regarding Spidey and the Avengers, and Sony and Marvel kind of talking behind closed doors, trying to see if we can get that done. And then they're saying, no, this is still many years away, if even possible. And what's the holdup? What do you think the problem is?
I think Sony is making too much money off of Spider-Man. They're not willing to give him up. And Marvel still gets some money from Spider-Man for all the stuff they do, I want to say.
I don't think they give him. They're not making too much money off of him. They're disappointed with the character because they've shelved him. They shelved him till 2018 because they want to make a Sinister Six movie, and
they don't know how to do it because they're trying to do way too much.
It makes no freaking sense. No one really cares about a Sinister Six movie. No one's going to see the trailer for that. I'm like, yes, that's what I want to watch.
Because I don't know. There are some diehard Spider-Man fans that would like that.
Okay. Minimal ones. Ones that are already seen Spider-Man movies regardless.
Yeah.
So you already have that fan base. You need to try to continue expanding your fan base and trying to get more people into the theaters because you were disappointed with Spider-Man 2 sales. That's why you're shelving him to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So their idea for doing Sinister Six just boggles my mind. I think that they established, we talked about it to death, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I think that he fits. I think he does well. I wouldn't mind seeing him pop up in an Avengers movie, and it could only help Sony.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could only help them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You throw him into a Marvel movie just as a cameo and say, hey, Marvel, throw our character in there. Throw him in the one that we established, Andrew Garfield. Give him a couple scenes with the Avengers. Have him save a couple people. Then do something, say, I got to go, guys. Peace.
Yeah, exactly. Black Will's falling, and he comes, swings by, saves her. Here you go. I need to save these other people.
And then he pieces out. Can you imagine the fan base going ape shit?
They would flip their shit over that.
They would flip their shit. And it would give interest into the Spider-Man franchises.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, Marvel took this under their wing. Maybe they'll have some more influence into a Sony-produced Spider-Man movie.
That would be ideal.
It makes sense to me.
It does. It makes perfect sense.
And I just...
But getting studios work together like that, it's a hard deal.
Oh, yeah, there's egos. Yeah. I mean, you have egos involved. And whenever you have those egos involved, they always think they're right, and they always think that they have the best thing for their franchises, and they're doing the best thing for their franchises. And if we've seen, Sony needs help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, there's just stuff that just doesn't work the way that they've been doing it, and they need change. Let Marvel try. Give Marvel an opportunity.
That's by our rights, they should be getting an opportunity, but
I agree.
It's going to be a long time before that happens, I feel, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so too. But you know what? I'm optimistic about it. I want to be optimistic just because of the fact that it makes too much sense for them to reinvigorate their franchise. It makes too much sense, and that's why I think that it could happen. Okay, so X-Men Days of Future Past comes out on Blu-ray and DVD on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And there was talk this week of a live-action X-Men show coming out for TV. A TV series, a live-action TV series for X-Men.
Okay, yeah. I could see that working.
I could see it. It's interesting. It's kind of like what they did in 2001-ish, where they did Mutant X.
I don't know how you remember that. I don't remember anything about that.
It was a show that came out, I think 2003. It lasted like 3 seasons. It was basically that kind of premise. It centers around like mutant characters. A team of new mutants possesses extraordinary powers as a result of genetic engineering. Members were used at least subjects for government experiments. Their missions were to seek out and protect fellow new mutants. Blah, blah, blah. So
X-Men.
X-Men set on TV, it lasted 3 seasons. So I could see that being like a rehash for a new crowd. I mean, that was over 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long time ago. You don't even remember it.
No, I don't.
So now with all this, like the series coming out on Netflix for like Daredevil and stuff like that, I could see them trying to...
all the superhero TV series. We got Gotham that just came out. We have The Flash that just came out. Green Arrow's doing well. So, I mean, DC is doing well on the TV front, I think. At least they got the interest in the TV front. They're trying to establish that more for Marvel, especially with the Netflix series that they're doing. And
those are exciting. We're going to talk about that actually next regarding Daredevil. But yeah,
we've seen an X-Men cartoon. We've seen a couple X-Men cartoons, and they're all enjoyable. Maturing it up and bringing it to a live-action audience, I could see it working.
Okay. I think the premise could work, definitely. I don't see it being like a long-term type of thing, because you can't go like crazy into lore. You're probably not going to be using A-list X-Men characters because they're going to be saved for movies. You're going to be using B-roll mutants out of...
Right, that's true.
Yeah, you're going to be using all these people like... That's why I used Mutant X as an example. It's like, characters that you don't really necessarily know, but they kind of exist in the universe.
Well, let's see. Aunt Pac-Man's no longer doing True Blood, so maybe...
You can throw Rogue in there as like a... maybe. I don't know. I've in order for it to work or even have a chance, I would say, especially with so many different teen shows going on, like the CW and like vampires and all this crazy stuff. In order for it to work and like live in that world, it would have to have talent behind it. Maybe establish people, as you just mentioned. I think that's a good point with Anna Paquin. Maybe returning as Rogue, as like an instructor who can like lead this group of misfits, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is still kind of rumored at this point, I think.
Yeah,
right?
It's not established yet. It's just a rumor and something that it brought my curiosity up, so I brought it to the news front. But so another series, Daredevil, coming to Netflix, is they're starting to release some pictures,
right?
And they released his very first Daredevil pick.
Yeah,
not like the costume that you're traditionally gonna expect, but like his first one. Like how every superhero has like their first generation one. Yeah. This is my costume before I modify it to exactly what you guys know type of costume.
Back when they're still kind of like testing out the superhero role.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's dressed in black. His eyes are covered in a bandana. And there is a comic book cover that it references. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is something that he's worn in the comics previously. I like it.
It looks good.
I do like it. And I'm just... I'm kind of excited for this.
I'm excited for all the Netflix ones coming out, honestly. I can't wait to binge watch those.
I'm just... Oh, man. Daredevil, the first one, just left such a bad taste in my mouth. The Affleck one.
Oh, that did it for a lot of people.
But, like, this looks promising. I like everything that I'm seeing from it. So, I'm optimistic.
You should be. Because it's back in Marvel's hands at this point.
True. It's Marvel doing this.
This isn't Fox.
I'm excited. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, super stoked. I like the costumes. A good choice, guys. Keep up the good work. We'll see how it comes out.
I think it'll do well.
Expendables 3 is getting an unrated cut.
Correct.
Yeah. So when it's going to be released, it's going to be released in unrated version. Thankfully, because we actually enjoyed Expendables 3
quite a bit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, surprisingly.
Yeah, we enjoyed it a lot more than I totally expected, because I've watched the first two and I was like, cool premise.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really execute very well. Third one I liked. I thought it was an entertaining film. And noticeably, the blood was gone. There were certain parts in there where you watch it and you kind of just...
You're kind of hoping for that hard scene.
You're waiting for it, like, okay, well, that was definitely cut to a PG-13 type of thing. There's no blood splatter. There's no guy getting cut in half or anything that you're kind of waiting for. So I will watch this film again, and I would like to watch it in the unrated cut. So I will definitely be interested in checking this out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So if you haven't seen Expendables 3 at this point, wait till the unrated cut, I would say. Check it out.
I think it's only available on Blu-ray for unrated. I think the DVD is going to be just the theatrical version.
Okay. So who doesn't have a Blu-ray player at this point? I don't even know. Heathens?
No, there's a few people I know.
Yeah, I take that back. There's actually a few people I know that don't have Blu-ray players.
Because they don't care. Like, I have a cousin-in-law. He for the longest time, he stood firmly by the stance that he did not see the difference between standard television and HD television, and he didn't see the difference. I'm like, are you blind? Like, it is night and day. I mean, it's no difference like it is from 1080p to 900p, because that difference is so incredibly vast.
Yeah,
I was being sarcastic.
I know.
Yeah. So, but yeah. But eventually, it's kind of, I was like, okay, yeah, I do see the difference. Okay, good, but I still don't think they have Blu-ray players.
Yeah, you're right. So rent it, I guess. Oh, you don't have a Blu-ray player. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see an unrated version.
That being said, watch it in PG-13. It's still a good movie. It's definitely worth the rent, I would say. It's already been kind of late to watch it in theaters, but definitely check it out. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, so there's a new Terminator coming out. We know, Genesis.
Yes, spelled oddly.
Spelled oddly, correct. But not going to be an R movie like
Once
previous.
Again. Yeah, like Salvation, which is fine because I thought Salvation was really good. Yeah,
and didn't need that much.
No.
So PG-13, I'm okay with.
Definitely okay with that. I'm more interested in the fact that it is a not reboot. It is taking the Terminator universe and just kind of going on a different path.
Right, as you said, it's kind of like going the Star Trek route, where the original timeline does exist.
Right, it's a different timeline.
Just a different timeline. So I'm interested. I'm a sucker for the series, because every time that I say that I'm done with it, I'm like, you know what? No more. They've oversaturated it. Let's just let it die. I find interest in it. Like, I liked Salvation. Yes. I thought it was a decent movie. I liked the direction they were going in that. And I'm kind of sad they didn't make a sequel and build on top of it. I liked the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, the TV series,
when
right?
It was on TV.
It didn't last long. Was it
2 seasons?
It was 2 seasons.
It ended on a cliffhanger, and they canceled it. So fuck them for doing that. But I enjoyed the series. So, like, as much as I want to say that I'm done with it, I still always find something that pulls me back in. So I'm excited about it. I want to see Terminator Genesis and see what kind of direction they go into it. So last story, we kind of talked about Dredd for the last week or two, and now there's talk about a web series spin-off coming out this month.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
They kept that under wraps.
Like, wait a minute. There's a Dredd web series coming out this month.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I was kind of caught off guard as well.
It's a 7-part miniseries coming out on the web. It kind of deals in the lore of, what is it? What are they called?
Judges?
The Dark Judges and the Dredd, the Dark Judges of the Dredd lore. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? This is like exactly what I wanted the movie to be about when we were talking about the sequel movie, and all of a sudden they're making a spin-off web series. Yeah. How cool is that?
It's just perfect, because I don't know much about the Dredd universe, and as much as I loved the first one, I want to know more about it, but I didn't have a chance to go out and read the comics. So this is going to be perfect for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this, and I want to see where it goes. And I don't know where it's airing. I don't know too much about this at all, but apparently it's coming out, and they've kept it under wraps. So
yeah,
I'm excited, man. Yeah, can't wait. So once we find out more information about it, if you guys are interested, we will definitely let you know where you can watch it online. But again, 7-part miniseries coming out this month. All right, that's our show this week. How can we reach you, Alex?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg, or you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Chris?
You can reach me on twitter.com/calmintensity. And for Lost Level, you can reach us all on lostlevel.com. And all of our social media links are up in the upper right-hand corner of that. We're even on Yahoo. Or not Yahoo. We're on YouTube. Sorry, I have Yahoo up on my home screen. I don't even know why it's my home screen. Whatever. We'll talk about that later.
No, we'll talk about now, young man. Why is Yahoo your home screen? It should be Google.
I use Google. Shut up. All right, whatever. So all this information, lostlevel.com, upper right-hand corner is all of our social media links. Check us out there. I'm not going to tell you to give us reviews, not going to tell you to do all of that, because I hope that you guys do that regardless of me asking. I guess we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.